I biked back to my land today. This is the first day that I'm gonna camp outside. This is nighttime in nature, listening to the birds. So I froze a bit in the middle of the night. I waited until the sun came all the way up and then I slept for a couple more hours. It's early April. The nights are dipping below freezing, but during the daytime it feels like summer already. Warm enough that I can work on the rocket stove. I've officially dug out half of this greenhouse and backfilled it with sand. So now the next step is going to be to put the elbow in place. And then I mixed a mega batch and now I'm ready to glue together the foundation for where this barrel's going to go. And then make this more circular so that this tower can hold more heat. I used up a whole bucket of cob and I lined only one side partially, as well as the foundation layer for the barrel. And yeah, the tube is gonna be like this. It's gonna have a hole that's drilled through the bottom so that there will be a little ash chamber. I'm about ready to put this barrel on top to give it a test run. I'm going to do that before I glue on this top layer of bricks. I just glued together the top ring layer all around here. And I added the rest of the cob. Now I'm about ready to put the barrel on. And then I already got that slipped up. And that will fit in right there. Here's the ashtray. I put the first pipe in and I can finally use these rocks. I'm basically throwing them in there, using them like mortar, throwing cob onto it and then mixing it in with the rocks and using it. And on the other side I still have yet to close off. What's fun is that now that I can use rocks, I can just make it fit. This is the rocket stove on its way towards completion. As you can see, it's burning ferociously compared to when I started it. Just letting out this tiny little bit of smoke compared to all that stuff that's burning. And this is already getting hot after just a couple of minutes. Next step is cutting this pipe into a 1.40 centimeter length and then chop the remaining piece into even smaller pieces. Here I've laid out most of the pipes. I just dug this part out, so this long piece here will connect here, and then a corner piece will lead it upwards and out here. I went ahead and mixed with this clay, and I patched all the holes in the barrel. So, things it's cold today. There's not been so much sun lately. I've been a little stuck today. A lot of time standing around watching how the rocket stove burns and looking at where the smoke comes out. Not sure what to do next. There's all these moving around things. So when you get stuck, the easiest thing to do is to clean up. I just finished digging out this section. So I'm gonna lay that sand down on the layer. I'm still going to need to dig out where the rocks are, but those boulders are too big for me to move alone. And then I'm going to continue insulating with this clay and straw slip. Now it's warmed up a bit. I've got some straw and I'm going to start insulating. I used up all the clay to slip the straw up. So now I've got everything up to here is new. All of this. I'm testing out the rocket stove with the angle set up. It looks like it's going little by little. Let's see. No sign here yet. There we go. Now it's flowing sideways. Okay, so I might need a lid on there to force the airflow. Yep, smoke is coming out. This afternoon I added even more straw around everywhere, just because I noticed it slunk down with all the weight of the pipe. I'm pretty happy with the progress. I not expected to get this far. And all the extra steps I did not expect, like having to do insulation, needing a specific T-cap. I didn't know I'd have to wash out the rocket stove, or did I expect to have such big rocks? Here's what the greenhouse looks from this side lately. So here's my first garden. I watered it, and I'm gonna see if anything peeps through. And I'm in this tricky position. I want to move that big boulder over to this side, but it's too heavy for me to move alone. So I'm gonna need my neighbors. So I previously made this pipe secure, though I made a stupid mistake. It's sticking in there. I need to be able to get my hand in there and clean it out, so it's got to move out some centimeters out. So it's sad to have to undo this, but I shifted it back over, and now my hand fits through. Unfortunately, I jammed my wheelbarrow. This part got smushed. Now the wheel's not turning normal. It's already the 1st of May. There's been quite a few changes since last week. It's still a drought. It hasn't rained here in weeks, though I started watering everything I can. For example, this hill had dried out completely. The moss looked like here, just dried out. And I stuck some plants in there. There's domestic strawberries. There's some herbs that I transplanted. There's dandelions already growing here and there. And I brought back more tomatoes, everything that was growing in the apartment. And I planted new things. We'll see if they pop out. The mustard is growing very well. The wild strawberries are already releasing flowers. Here, underneath the hay, I've got onions growing. And I threw in some snow peas in some spots here and there. It'll be interesting to see if they grow out. And I'm focusing on the pump now. So back in my land, I've got a water well, which is about 10 meters deep or some 36 feet. But I don't have a way to get water out of it. And because the water is deeper than 8 meters, a shallow pump won't work for it. And I can't find anywhere in Lithuania or in Europe where they sell deep well pumps. The cheapest one I could find was from the States, and it cost $500 plus another $350 or so to ship it. So I started to watch so many YouTube videos learning how a simple cylindrical well pump works by displacing water, and I decided to try to build my own. So my apartment is a mess now because it's a workshop mode, but basically this is going to be the outer lining pump, which will go in the water, and here will be the foot valve. It's a check valve at the same time, meaning that it only lets water in from one side, from the filtered side. So this smaller pipe is a piston. It also will have a check valve at the end of it, which will work in opposing directions. So this will go inside here. I cut a piece of my sandal, which will force the pressure. So basically what's going to happen, when the pipe is here, when it gets pulled up, this is going to suck water in from the well inside the pipe. And then once this pushes down, because the water won't be able to go out, it will go through the check valve into this pipe. And then it'll keep doing that, and the water will keep rising and rising. I just have to figure out how it's going to pump water all the 10 meters out of the well. So now I'm gluing these pieces together. So here I've got my piston. So basically the check valve only lets water in, but it doesn't let water out. Here I'm trying to make something to weave through the piston and to hold all the pipes together without having to worry about the pipes coming apart. And so I'm thinking this will weave through these holes, and then I'll make 2 more, and then it'll go all the way through. Here I just watched a YouTube video on how to make a bowline knot. Then I applied that to my foot valve, and then I clogged up all the holes with this glue, and so this line will go through the length of all of these inner tubes. It will hold it together because I'm otherwise worried that with all the pulling that just the glue between these pipes might not be enough.
Yet another status update.
I'm getting ready to
Cure yourself.
find the foot valve that fell into the well. Here goes nothing. Oh, it's cold in here.
It's just the beginning, I think.
Wouldn't want to get stuck down here.
Are you ready to swim?
Oh, reach the ladder.
How's the water?
Oh, it's cold. Ah, it's clear though. Let me see if I can find. Now I can see exactly. It's about 2.5 rings of water.
Which is almost 2 meters.
I think I see it. Yes. Ah, nice. I'm wondering if I should take. Oh, fuck it. I'll just get wet. Oh.
It reminds me of some horror movies. Bye bye.
Got it. I just wish I had pockets now. Take this. This is the piece that I had to retrieve. It's a filtered check valve that lets water in only one direction, so without it I wouldn't be able to make any progress today. I'm gonna try another try with this pump. This is the piece that fell out. I'm trying to glue it together this time, and I have more faith in it. I'm ready to give my pump another test run. Otherwise, I'm starting to put together this inner pipe. And so there's this rope is going to hold this pipe together. So I've got about 9.5 meters of this inner pipe. I'm going to see if that'll suffice. And I have 10 meters of this outer pipe. Now I'm going to try to shove this in here. Hopefully it'll keep straight. I tested my well pump yesterday, and as you can tell from the pieces in my hand and that it's taken apart, that it did not work as planned, though it was not a complete failure, as I learned a lot of crucial things. First of all, I need something sturdier than sandal bumper, or at least I need more of these for support. And this top piece fits on to the end of my piston. It did not work too well. It's too much pressure apparently. Though I'm very happy with how the rope held the pipes together. I didn't need to glue these endpoints, and it functioned as I hoped it would. After I tested it out, I had to, with the help of my neighbor, pull it out. And it was, I don't know, it had a lot of water in it, meaning that it worked in theory. Here I am, chilling at my workshop. I'm rebuilding the piston. All they could recommend me at the store was this plastic substance. I'm measuring the distance out, making it fit. My piston. Nice. Now this will have to fit in here. Here's version 1 and version 2. I'm gonna try to climb down the well and fasten these outer pipes against the concrete rings. One of the scarier moments, trying to figure out how to make sure that I can make a straight line, and how can I do this wearing a drill on my side with a belt I threw together, and how to do that without falling down myself. So I'm gonna drop this into the well so that I have someone to stand on. Otherwise I have my harness, and I'm going to try to pulley myself using this oak. So come, let's see how this falls. That's what I'm gonna stand on. This pulley system. Hope I don't die. Okay, let myself down. Okay, let me grab hold of this. And the idea is that I should be able to just let myself down like this.
You can start baiting, or will you go up?
Oh yeah, I can start. So I've got a chalk rock, and I'm gonna draw a line. So far, so good.
Virvevskes greina.
Everything's good, so. I'm going down, down, baby. Baby. Woof, woof. Okay.
What's the temperature like there?
Ooh, it's dropping.
Is it cold?
I'd say it's like 10 degrees,
Nice.
and I climb back up.
Oye, como si shaking.
Let me see.
Bet čia jau matosi turbūt.
Oh.
Your turn. Wow.
So that's how Lithuanians go down wells. Now I'm gonna start drilling in these holes.
Oh yeah, the drill. No for go well.
Okay, I'm gonna actually go down a little.
Mm-hmm. Go.
Okay, going. A little more. Okay. Okay, so.
Yeah, no, it doesn't stop completely.
No.
Well, maybe I can.
Also hold you like this.
Does that
I
work
can
for you?
hold you. I can
You can hold
you.
me.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Or does it make more sense for you to hold this other one down? Because then you can use friction. You need to like push it down.
Try. Yeah, I can hold you. Push yourself very much to how to say, to the corner so that you can.
Okay.
It's one of the most interesting works I've ever done.
Same. Okay. Let's drill some holes. Fuck, I've got the wrong blade. That's why. Okay.
A metal one? A metal one?
I'm using the wood one. Okay. And I'm gonna. Okie doke. Now hold me, please.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can put the entire pipe in and then have it. Because then I will know exactly where
it will
to.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Screw these in here. Dig out the screwdriver. Can't see anything.
No, not really.
Well, I'm down here. I'm screwing in this pipe into the wall. Some fasteners. And
Give me the light.
my hand's getting pretty tired. Oh, shitty screws. I'm happy.
Because what happens if the screws are not tight enough?
So this the electric screwdriver. See the screwdriver just ate out these screws, and so figuring better out to do it with the manual slowly. Actually, here. Test run, and the water should go through here. It's tough. So I idea that I should be able to just pump. I feel like it should be harder. Not airtight.